The Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board, or LTFRB, issues warning on abusive drivers who plan to collect increased fares ahead of the effectivity date of the upcoming hike. Jasmine Cacho has the full details.
The Land Transportation, Franchising and Regulatory Board, or LTFRB, warned public utility vehicles or PUV drivers and operators over the collection of higher fares from commuters before October 3. The LTFRB reminded PUV drivers that the fare increase shall take effect on the said date or after 15 days from the publication of ruling and the issuance of fare matrix, as drivers and operators of PUVs are mandated to show the updated fare matrix on vehicles. With this, the transport agency called on the public to report abusive PUV drivers collecting higher fares. Violators will be fined 5,000 pesos for the first offense, 10,000 pesos for second offense, and 15,000 pesos as well as cancellation of the certificate of public convenience for a third offense. The LTFRB noted that PUV groups may still appeal the board's decision that granted a fare increase of 1 peso to 5 pesos. Transport groups had filed a petition for 3 pesos to 20 pesos increase in fares. The motion for reconsideration can be filed within the 15-day period upon publication, otherwise the decision will be final. For Golden Nation Network, this is Jasmine Cacho.
Meantime, a group of taxi drivers has petitioned to the Land Transportation, Franchising and Regulatory Board, or LTFRB, to allow an increase in their flag down rate to 60 pesos to help ease the burden caused by rising fuel prices. Philippine National Taxi Operators Association President Attorney Jesus Manuel Suntay said the flag down rate for taxis and Transport Network Vehicle Services, or TNVS, which was recently adjusted with additional 5 pesos, is not enough. Suntay added that the 5 peso increase is just an additional 100 pesos if they have an average of 20 passengers per day. In other developments, the Office of the Vice President, or OVP, justified its decision to shift its Quezon City offices to a centralized one in Mandaluyong, claiming that the move was made to increase efficiency rather than for the sake of luxury. JC Ogaire has the full report.
The Office of the Vice President, or OVP, defended its choice to relocate its Quezon City offices to a centralized one in Mandaluyong City, stating that the decision was designed to promote efficiency rather than for the sake of luxury. OVP spokesperson Reynold Monsayak said they have decided to secure a unified central office on the 11th floor of Robinson's Cybergate Plaza, EDSA Corner Pioneer Street, to streamline their services. Monsayak also noted that criticisms against their office have incomplete facts on hand. Through their subsidiary offices in Dagupan, Cebu, Tacloban, Zamboanga, Davao, Surigao del Sur, and Bacolod, the OVP's basic services, including medical and funeral help, are also accessible. For Golden Nation Network, this is JC Ogaire.
For Senate updates, Senator Raffy Tulfo wants to increase the Department of Information and Communications Technology, or DICT's budget so that it can be used to protect the nation's cybersecurity. He pointed out that countries more advanced and richer than the Philippines have suffered cyber attacks. The senator also stressed cybersecurity as a national security issue. On the other hand, Senator Padilla has started exploring ways to stop the abuse of TikTok, YouTube, and other new media platforms that use streaming content. This was after he learned that the Movie and Television Review and Classification Board, or MTRCB, has limited powers in acting against inappropriate content, especially in such new platforms. Padilla also asked the MTRCB under Lala Soto Antonio if there's anything the Senate can do to address this problem without violating the Constitution and its guarantee of freedom of expression. Meanwhile, Padilla added his Senate Committee on Mass Media and Public Information will hold hearings on the issue and may invite representatives of Netflix and other streaming platforms. Additionally, Senator Raffy Tulfo has expressed alarm over the supposed rampant land grabbing affecting farmers. Nathalie Danganan has the full report.
Senator Tulfo has urged the Philippine Land Registration Authority or LRA to investigate the rampant land grabbing in Palawan and other provinces by powerful personalities victimizing farmers and indigenous peoples or IPs. Tulfo, during the Finance Subcommittee hearing on September 20, also urged LRA to address the widespread corruption in the agency. During the hearing, Tulfo told LRA Administrator Attorney Gerardo Sirios that he received reports of rampant corruption in the agency, which Sirios confirmed himself. According to Sirios, who is with LRA for less than a month, he received a marching order from Justice Secretary Boying Remulla to make sure to clean the ranks of LRA. Tulfo shared that powerful people are taking advantage of the vulnerability of farmers and IPs who would mortgage their land entitled to a loan shark in exchange for a small amount of money to finance their needs such as medicines for sick family member. Without giving them any grace period to pay for the money they owe, Tulfo shared that the loan sharks would immediately transfer the ownership of their land titles. Tulfo also cited cases wherein IPs were forcibly displaced by powerful people claiming they have legitimate land titles to the ancestral lands. Meanwhile, Tulfo added that LRA should strengthen measures that will protect farmers and IPs against land grabbing and other forms of abuses. For Golden Nation Network, this is Nathalie Danganan.
Consequently, Senate President Juan Miguel Zubiri continues to underscore the need to protect farmers as the Senate deliberates on the Blue Ribbon Committee's report on the alleged sugar order importation fiasco. During the plenary session on Tuesday, Senator Zubiri said that the investigation was able to establish that any sugar importation is detrimental to the livelihood of over 100,000 farmers, 1 million beneficiaries, including farm workers, and about 5 million people. The Senate chief reiterated his stand to let end users like Coca-Cola, Pepsi-Cola, and Zesto import sugar if they were unable to source locally, instead of letting the Sugar Regulatory Administration or SRA look for the importers. In a related story, the new Sugar Regulatory Administration or SRA board expects the prices of refined sugar to stabilize in 2 months. Nathalie Danganan has the full story.
Acting SRA Administrator David John Tadeus Alba hopes that once all imported refined sugar comes in, the price will stabilize hopefully by November. Alba was referring to the importation of 150,000 metric tons of refined sugar, which was approved by President Marcos through Sugar Order Number 2. He added that the cost of refined sugar by November may range from 70 pesos to 80 pesos per kilo. However, SRA noted that there are still other factors that may affect pricing, like the cost of production and transportation. As of September 4, the country has around 134,000 metric tons of raw sugar and around 143,000 metric tons of refined sugar. Weekly demand, however, is around 6,200 metric tons and 6,800 metric tons for raw and refined sugar, respectively. Furthermore, SRA also noted that 2 refineries have already started their refining process, and they expect that all refineries will fully operate by November. This will ensure enough refined sugar for industrial users, manufacturers, and consumers. Meanwhile, the SRA expects sugar production for the current crop year to reach 1.87 million metric tons, while domestic raw sugar withdrawal should be around 2.03 million metric tons. For Golden Nation Network, this is Nathalie Danganan.
Up next on News Force. Bureau of Immigration monitors entry of travelers from Vietnam and Cambodia. NBA fines Anthony Edwards $40,000 for homophobic tantrum. OWA Chief Arnel Ignacio says cultural understanding is key to better OFW employer relations in Saudi Arabia. Stay tuned for more stories and reports when News Force returns.